Student, let us start a second part of rotational dynamics, that is part 2. It is now based on the moment of inertia and it is analogous to a translational motion. So let us study in detail about this rotational dynamics, the next part. So here there are some analogous equation between translational, that is also called as linear motion, and the rotational motion. So let us study the analogy between the translational and rotational motion, so related with the moment of inertia term. So in translational motion, inertia or mass is represented by m. So inertia factor is the mass in translational motion. Similarly, in rotational motion, the inertia factor is represented by I term. I is called as rotational inertia or moment of inertia. It is simply denoted by like mi. So moment of inertia is I. That is called as a rotational inertia. It is analogous to mass. Mass is fundamental quantity, but rotational inertia is not a fundamental quantity. It depends on three things. One is mass of an object. Second, distribution of mass from the axis of rotation. And third one is position of axis of rotation. Out of these three parameters, you can understand the dependency of the moment of inertia on the two parameters. One is the mass and another one is this R represent the distribution of mass from the axis of rotation. Hence, the moment of inertia is calculated by the equation integration of this delta m into R square. So it is also calculated by the algebraic sum of mi into Ri square. If masses of individual particles are the different, then the moment of inertia is calculated by algebraic sum of mi into Ri square. If all masses are identical, all elements are identical, we may calculate the moment of inertia as an integration of this elemental mass and its distance square from the axis of rotation. So this distance is the distance from the axis of rotation, its square, and integrate it, because this is elemental moment of inertia. Dm into R square, that is elemental moment of inertia. Integration of it will give the total moment of inertia. All about this you are going to understand in this chapter by solving the various problems and studying the derivations. Now, what is linear momentum? So you familiar with the linear momentum term. Linear momentum is denoted by vector p. It is a product of mass into linear velocity. Mass is scalar, velocity is vector, linear momentum is vector. So whatever the direction of linear velocity, same is the direction of linear momentum. Similarly, analogous quantity in the rotational motion is angular momentum. Angular momentum is analogous term like linear momentum. So in place of linear momentum, in rotational motion, term is angular momentum. In place of mass, in rotational motion, term is I. In place of linear velocity, in rotational motion, term is omega, because v is analogous with omega in rotational motion. Mass is analogous with I, that is moment of inertia in rotational motion, and linear momentum is analogous with angular momentum in rotational motion. Hence, angular momentum and linear momentum are related by the expression vector L equal to vector R cross of vector P. This you might have studied in the fourth chapter also. Angular momentum is a vector product of this position vector, or it is also called as a moment arm, and this is linear momentum. So angular momentum is an axial vector. Its direction is given by the right hand rule. So L vector equal to R cross of P vector. Now next, one more physical quantity is force. So by the Newton's second law of motion, this force is rate of change of linear momentum. Actually, this expression is a Newton's second law of motion, that is vector F equal to dp by dt, where p is a linear momentum. Analogous equation in the rotational motion is, in place of force in the rotational motion, torque is essential. Like for a linear motion, the force is essential to change the state of a body. So similarly, for a rotational motion, the torque is essential. So torque is required to change the state of a rotating body. So force is analogous with a tau vector. It is again an axial vector, means its direction is along the axis. in place of linear momentum, here is a term is angular momentum, hence the tau is analogous equation is represented by rate of change of angular momentum. So tau is rate of change of angular momentum, and the relation between this force and the torque is given by tau equal to vector r cross of vector f. So these are similar equation. One is for the torque and another one is for the angular momentum. So tau equal to vector r cross of vector f. It is again the formula of vector product, and the direction is given by the right hand rule. Next analogous quantity is work. So work in linear motion is vector f dot of s. So in linear motion or translational motion, work done is vector f dot of vector s, whereas in rotational motion the work is given by analogous term. In place of force tau, that is torque, and in place of linear displacement the quantity is angular displacement theta. So it is a dot product between these two vectors. Similarly, it is a dot product between these two vectors. So work done is tau dot of theta. Now next analogy between the term power. The power in linear motion is a rate of doing work is called as power, that is dw by dt. Work done is force into displacement. Considering this above equation, above substitution for w, so this f dot of s upon this time, but displacement upon time is velocity. So we get dividing this equation by time, that is f dot of v. So power is written as vector f dot of v. It is a rate of doing work. Analogous equation of the power in the rotational motion will be power equal to rate of doing work, but it is tau dot of omega, because force is analogous with torque and linear velocity is analogous with angular velocity. So from this table you will understand that whatever your knowledge of the translational motion, similar you have to apply for this rotational dynamics, for the rotational motion. Only in place of mass, now you observe the I. In place of V, you will observe the angular velocity, that is omega. In place of linear momentum, here the term is angular momentum. In place of the force, here the term is torque. So these are the analogous quantity. For example, power in linear motion, if it is f dot of v, then the power in rotational motion is force is analogous with tau. So tau dot of omega, vector tau dot of vector omega. Like this is the equation. So this is a analogy between translational motion and rotational motion. So based on that, student, you can solve the various questions, or in some exam these formulas and the related concepts are also asked. So this table is very important for solving the numericals and the objectives on this rotational dynamics. Let us study now the moment of inertia, that is also called as rotational inertia. So total moment of inertia of any system is calculated as algebraic sum of mass of each particle and square of the perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation. Let us consider this xy is the axis of rotation, and these are the different masses, like m1 is situated at a distance r1, m2 is situated at a distance r2, m3 is situated at a distance r3, and this is mn, nth mass situated at a distance rn. So moment of inertia is the algebraic sum of moment of inertia of all n particles. So moment of inertia of the first particle will be m1 into r1 square. So basically moment of inertia is mass into square of the distance. Like force is nothing but the mass into acceleration. So moment of inertia is mass into distance square. So for first particle, the moment of inertia is m1 into r1 square. For second particle, it is m2 into r2 square. For third particle, it is m3 into r3 square. For nth particle, it is mn into rn square. So total moment of inertia of a system of n particle, means system is made up of n particle. So it is the sum of moment of inertia of n particle. So first particle moment of inertia is m1 r1 square. Second particle moment of inertia is m2 r2 square. Third particle moment of inertia is m3 r3 square. And nth particle moment of inertia is mn rn square. So algebraic sum of all these n terms, first term, second term, third term, so on, nth term. That is the total moment of inertia of a system. So it is represented by such summation symbol, I equal to summation of I equal to 1 to n, mi ri square. Moment of inertia depend upon these factors, following factor. One is mass of the body, second one distribution of mass. If distribution is wider from the axis of rotation, then this term increases, so moment of inertia increases. If this distribution is closer to the axis of rotation, then this term decreases, so moment of inertia decreases. If mass increases, moment of inertia increases. So mass, this moment of inertia depend upon mass of the body and distribution of mass. Also moment of inertia depend upon position of axis of rotation. How moment of inertia depend upon position of axis of rotation, that we are going to study in theorem of parallel axis, that is IO equal to IC plus mh square. As the distance from the center of mass increases, so moment of inertia about that axis increases. Means as the moment of inertia about any axis is calculated as the sum of moment of inertia about its parallel axis passing through the center of mass and the product of mass of the body and square of the distance between the axis which is passing through the center of mass and that unknown axis, that we are going to study by the parallel axis theorem. So moment of inertia also depend upon position of axis of rotation. Least moment of inertia is about an axis passes through the center of mass. As the distance from the center of mass increases, the moment of inertia increases. That you will understand by the parallel axis theorem. Also moment of inertia depend upon size and shape of the body. So these are the four factors on which the moment of inertia depend upon. Actually size and shape also a part of this distribution of mass. So basically the moment of inertia is said to be depend upon these three factors: mass of the body, distribution of mass, and position of axis of rotation. Or we may include this fourth factor, that is size and shape of the body. For homogeneous rigid body, the moment of inertia is calculated by integration of this r square into dm. Dm is elemental mass. It is situated at a distance r from the axis of rotation. Let us study the next part, that is kinetic energy of rotating body. This kinetic energy of rotating body is analogous to the kinetic energy in linear motion. So what is the equation for kinetic energy in linear motion? It is half mv square. So analogous equation in a rotational motion is half, in place of mass we observe the rotational inertia, that is I, and in place of v the rotational quantity is rotational angular velocity, that is omega. Hence the rotational kinetic energy is given by the equation half I omega square. So we are going to study the derivation for this rotational kinetic energy in the next part.